Alright, today I'll be talking about how I made my homemade hydrofoil. I started out making the foil out of wood, and I cut my 1/8" plywood and glued 3 layers together using epoxy, then bent to a curved shape about 2 to 3 inches high in the middle. While you're waiting for your epoxy glue to dry, you can cut your 2x4 and start shaping it down to a torpedo-like shape with flat edges on your wings for your wings to sit on. Make sure everything is smooth and symmetrical as best as you can. When you think it's perfect, keep sanding and making it symmetrical because it's super important. A lot of the project rides on smooth surfaces and symmetry. Once your epoxy is dry, you can cut out the foil shape, making sure it is symmetrical. Next, what you can do is you can make your mast. You can do this by getting your 1/2" plywood and just pretty much making a rectangle. Sanding off the nose to like a kind of football shape, more flatter in the front and sharp in the back, so like the foil shape. The next step is hard. It's shaping the wings. The foil shape is the most important part. Bowl the front and sharpen the tail, following the picture of the foil design. This shape needs to follow a line drawn like the same curvature as the front side of the wing, and about 2 inches back. You can follow the wood grains to see if it is symmetrical or not. Once the foil structure is finished, you can start layering your fiberglass 3 layers on each side of every piece. Once dry, cut out and sand till smooth. Then repeat the process with carbon fiber. 3 layers on each side of the wings, and then two to 1 layer on each side of the fuselage. The smaller you make it, the more carbon you need. And then for your mast, you want more because it's so thin and fragile. You probably want 4 sheets on either side. Once you have all your pieces painted with the carbon fiber painted on with epoxy, you put it in the vacuum bags and you got to make sure there's no wrinkles in the bag, because if not, the epoxy builds up and it'll harden and just be terrible, and it'll ruin the foil, and you'll need to do a lot of sanding, which I had problems with. Once everything is dry, pull off the bag and cut off the excess pieces, filling the gaps with filler and making sure every single part of it is smooth and symmetrical. For the second wing, I smoothed out the carbon fiber and got all the wrinkles out, which made the wing turn out great. It was nice and smooth, and I didn't have to sand it pretty much at all. There's a picture right there. Drill 3 holes in the front wing and 2 in the back wing, and fill those holes with epoxy, making sure that the bolt you'll be using to bolt the wings to the fuselage has a good layer around it of epoxy. Route out the fuselage halfway through for the mast, and glue in your mast using epoxy. And then for the fuselage, you can also, the 3 holes that you drilled on the front wing, you drill the exact same into the mast, all the way through. Once the epoxy is dry in the fuselage wings, drill through the epoxy and put the bolts in, making sure there's a good ring around it. Bolt in, countersink the holes and attach the wings. Fill all the gaps with filler and fair everything because it needs to be smooth. Once the foil is all smooth and sanded and a good texture and like all symmetrical and stuff, cover the whole thing with epoxy one last time, making sure it looks smooth. And once that's dry, sand it out, smooth it out, and then paint it. And once you've painted it, you can put a Tuttle plate adapter on your foil, or you can buy one, or you can make one. I bought mine because I didn't have a lot of time, but yeah, making sure that you're making it the exact same width between the bolts as you will be on the on your surfboard. So you can make a surfboard or buy one for foils. There's Freedom foil boards, but I got an old surfboard that I had and put 2 fin boxes in it, like longboard fin boxes, and attached the foil there. So once your foil is done, you can go surf it, have some fun, and just learn how to foil. Thanks for listening.